Hello and welcome back. In our last few videos, we saw how to write our own bash script, change the privileges, and execute it. We also saw how we can move our script to a location within our path variable, mainly the user local bin directory, so we could call our script no matter where we were. And we also saw how we could perform parameter, command, and arithmetic expansion, and the use of single and double quotes. So let's try to review these skills and maybe put them to use in a new script here. We'll open up a terminal. And we saw to reference a variable, we could use a $sign to perform parameter expansion. So let's define a variable in the shell. Let's say color equals blue. If I echo color, it does just that. It echoes the word color to the terminal. However, if I want to perform parameter expansion, I'll use the $sign. So I'll say echo $sign color, and now I get the value stored in the variable. Now this variable here, color, is an example of a shell variable. It's only applied to this shell. So if I open up a new shell and I type echo $sign color, nothing is there because there is no variable color in this shell. The opposite of this is called the environment variables. They're system-wide. And so we looked at them a little bit in our last video. We can view environment variables by typing env. And so I see variables like shell, SSH agent, log name, home, username, PWD, etc., user. And so regardless of whether or not I'm in this shell here and I type echo $sign user, I get the value. Or if I'm in this shell and I type echo $sign user, I get the value. And I didn't have to define them at all. Let's use some of these environment variables with some commands to write another script. So let's see, I'm going to close this. I'm going to clear the screen. And let's move to our scripts folder. All right. And I'm going to nano a script called session info. We'll call this session info. All right, so let's start our script. We're going to start off with our shebang, and we're going to give the location of our interpreter, so shebang bin/bash. And I'm going to put a comment here, and my comment will say give specific info about the current session. All right, perfect. So first I want to print the date command. So I could do this just by calling, I think, the date function, right? Let's just check this. Let's go back here and let's look at two commands that we're going to use for their output. So if I type date, it gives me the date. All right, the date and the time. And there's another one, uptime. It gives us a little bit different information. If I type uptime, it looks like it's giving me the time again, and it's giving me how long my computer has been running. So 58 minutes, one user, etc. Let's look at uptime TAC H. We have an option here, TAC P for pretty. I want to show the uptime in the pretty format, that's for sure. So we want it to be pretty. So I'll do TAC P, and look at this, it says up for 59 minutes. So I think that that's what I want to use, uptime TAC P, and we're going to use date here to get some session info. So now that we know how that works, let's go back to let's look at our script. So I have session info. If I do ls-tac-l right now, I see it's not executable. So let's give everyone execute privileges here. So I'll do chmod to change the privileges, and I'm going to do +x to give execution privileges across the board, and we'll say session info. Now if we look, we have execute privileges, so I should be able to run this script. So to run the script, I'll do period / session info, and right now it's just giving me the date, and that's all that I've told it to do, so that's working quite nicely. So let's go back to our script. Let's add some more functionality here. Maybe I don't want to just print the date. Maybe I want it to be a little nicer. Maybe I want to have a statement first. So I'm going to say echo the current date and time is, and now I'm going to, if I type date to call the date command, let's see what happens. So if I run this script, it says the current date and time is date. Nope, not what we wanted at all, right? Not what we wanted at all. And so let's go look why. If you look here, I'm using double quotes, and it's going to treat date just as a literal string here. In order to perform the command, I got to do command expansion. So I'm going to do $ parentheses, and then inside of the parentheses, I'll put my command date. And so this is really good, I think. We're going to do the command expansion. The $ will still work, but we're using double quotes to suppress any other unexpected characters that might happen. So let's Control X and save this. And now if I run this, it says the current date and time is Wednesday, the 8th of January, 2020 at 5:21 a.m. Yeah, I know. I'm a morning person. What can I say? Good. So that's working exactly like we want it to do. Now, let's try to put some more information in our script here. So let's see. Nano session info. So we've got the current date. Let's also get the current user's name. So I'll say echo the current username, or the current user is. And now we saw that this was stored in an environment variable. So I'll use parameter expansion user. Let's get the current shell type. So we'll say echo the current shell is, and we'll do parameter expansion on an environment variable called shell. Perfect. And let's get the working directory. And so we'll say echo the current working directory is, and we'll do pwd. So here, all of our $ are performing parameter expansion, so we should get the values that those variables hold. So let's test this. Current date and time, current user is Mike, current shell is bin bash, current working directory is home Mike scripts. I love it. So far, so good. Now I just want to add one last line. I want to say how long our system has been up for. So we'll go back to Nano, and let's add one more line here. We'll say echo your system has been up for, and now we want to call the uptime command. So I'm going to do command expansion, and inside of here I'm going to put my command. So if you recall, it was uptime, and we wanted the pretty option, so we'll do TAC-P, and then I'll close my double quotes here. So you can see here we've got 2 instances where we're doing command expansion, and then 3 instances where we're doing parameter expansion. So I'm going to save this, and we can test this. Let's run this. So I'll do session info, and that looks really nice. A good kind of summary of our current session. I like how this is working, and so right now I'm going to move it into a location where I can call the script no matter where I am. And so I'm going to do sudo move session info, and we're going to move it to root user local bin. I'll enter in my password, and perfect. It looks like it's out of here. So now I should be able to call this no matter where I am. So let's cd root. And if I call session info, it looks like it's running fine, and it's updating my directory, so that's really great. Let's go to cd user local bin. Let's just make sure that it's in here. I see session info right there, and if I call the session info script, it is updating the directory. Wonderful. I think this is a great place to stop. We wrote a nice little script here using parameter expansion and command expansion, and we're going to build on these in our next video. I'll see you then.